It's time for Hollywood Bruce in the Power Hour.
I'm here, and you better respect it. Respect the stream. Respect everything about it.
I'm sorry, Bruce. That was an accident. My finger slipped.
Yeah, you know, you're interrupting my rant right now, but
okay,
it's okay. You're forgiven now, but don't let it happen again, because you know what I'll do. Come on.
All right, what's this topic about?
This topic about what topic? The topic that's in the thumbnail?
Yeah.
This one?
Very unique.
You know, we got Jesus Gunn and we got Jesus Snyder. And I just want to know.
I have to say, Snyder Jesus looks better than Snyder Gunn.
What makes people, fans, want to worship them like God? Why they want to form a religion around both of them? Can't you just enjoy the movies without the bullshit of being over freaking excited about everything they do, or everything they do is great, blah blah blah? What I see it with Snyder fans and Gunn fans, they're the same fucking same thing, different sides of a coin. That's all it is. Same coin, different sides. And they don't see it. They don't see it. They don't want to see it.
I have a strong response to this, but I'm really looking forward to Brian, because he was the one that classically made the Jesus toast for my channel. We'd have to switch just to get it. Let me.
The Jesus toast inspired.
I need that on a shirt. I need that on a shirt.
That
it's on the MME brand. Like, I mean, I could change it, but
yeah, you could change it. What do you? Yep. Oh, that happens in StreamYard now.
Yeah, when you change it, it removes everyone. Let me see. Let me find the Jesus toast. If someone could take a picture of that for me, I need MME.
Hold on, I'll leave it up. I'll do a screenshot.
Yeah.
All right. Got it.
Yeah. So I do want to. I have to work on a new logo, and
all right, switch it back to
It's gonna kick us out again. Okay.
Switch it back. The Power Hour, please. Thank you.
Power Hour. Oh, it didn't this time. Okay, good. All right, so let's get Brian first, because I think Brian's got a lot to say.
Well, as for somebody who's taken a bit of a break due to the insanity of it all, and yes, it has been insane. It's really funny, like how these dichotomies always grow up in between things. You know, before it was like Snyder and you know, freaking versus Warner Brothers and all this kind of stuff. So there's always, like, you know, you're a good guy and you're a bad guy in these situations. And being somebody who's kind of been in the thick of the Snyder action, or some of the Snyder action, for the better part of half a decade. It's bad when I say one group created the other, but it's true. And the reason why I say this is because fans, we're reactionary. Okay, that's what we do. I mean,
blaming the fans. Okay,
we could try to say, well, no, I'm not blaming fans. I'm just saying
I'm blaming the fans.
Well, I mean, we're talking about groups of people who are.
I know who to blame.
Who deify celebrities and directors. Okay,
that's not whose fault this is.
It's kind of on everybody and social media.
Listen, at this point, go ahead.
But basically, what I say when the quote unquote Gunn gang got created by the Snyder Bros is because of the reaction. It was that initial reaction to, one, James Gunn getting the job and Snyder not. You know, obviously Snyder wasn't even in consideration for the job because he was doing other things. Okay. But, you know, there are still people who held out hope. I know they did. Especially with, you know, I was on those streams and they held out hope longer than they should have.
I still have something there, but it's, you know, I'm not saying it's impossible.
Oh, I know, but I'm just saying, like, you come to some realizations, you know, that, hey, if it's going to happen, it's not anytime soon. Okay.
You know, I will say this.
An asshole. But anyways, they created each other because there were people who took up arms for James Gunn when it happened.
Yes.
I know exactly.
The hashtag war of 2023.
Fans are not not Snyder fans did not create this.
Yes, they did. Right.
No, they didn't.
Yes, they did. And then they gas fire, and now you have two groups that hate each other.
No, I know exactly.
I will say this. At this point, it wouldn't be so bad if they just stayed in their neutral corners, whatever, blah, 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 blah.
If they never interacted, it would be amazing.
They stop interacting with each other and stop making alt accounts and making streams about each other. But that will never stop. At this point, it's just embarrassing that on both sides, I never say both sides. I sound like fucking Max over here. On both sides, e-fapping and gooning to every little thing that Gunn and Snyder do. Snyder showed up at backstage. Oh, Gunn is on a box. Ooh, goon, 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 goon. Come on. Get out of here with that.
There's gooners for this?
Damn. Pretty much.
They're gooning for Snyder and Gunn.
Speaking, maybe not the physical act. But
look, assholes are assholes, and I'm not grouping a fandom because a bunch of a-holes are worse than the others.
I'm just talking about the ones we've rolled with, brother.
I'm sorry. I don't see seriously, I don't see Star Wars fans.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Max?
It's because
I don't see Star Wars fans and Marvel fans going at each other back and forth the way Snyder and Gunn fans do.
Okay. Are you going to say what your take is, Hollywood Bruce? Whose fault it is? You blaming fans too? Blaming fans creating the other fans? Because I know exactly where to lay the blame.
I'm blaming people that have addictive personalities and don't know what's reality and thinking Gunn and Snyder are their saviors or their best friends, or let me call them by their first name because I personally know them. I know that Zack wouldn't do this. You know, if Gunn was doing this, like, come on, get out of here with that.
Are you ready for the hot take?
Go ahead.
No, I'm not ready for the hot take.
Are you?
I got some pictures. You know, just to make fun of both sides. We got Gunn and Snyder.
Oh,
Superman.
Wow. I'll tell you what, I would take that Snyder Man over Corn Sweat any day.
We got Snyder Man and Gunn.
Corn Sweat.
We got
oh wow,
Snyder and Corn Sweat.
Go back to Snyder Man.
Come on, I got three more here.
Go to Snyder Man. I love that. I'm gonna hang it on my wall. I need this.
Then we got. Wait, did it do the same? Oh yeah, I gotta load the other ones, but I'll go back to that one. Wait, Snyder Man.
That's pretty cool.
Gunn suddenly looked more appealing.
Then we got Snyder and Snyder Man.
Yeah, that's great. I like to see Snyder's face on everybody.
Sorry, get that one. Where's the other one?
Where's the other ones?
Hold on.
People need to know the truth of who's really to blame.
Oh, I had Gunn as Superman, but I can't find it.
That's because it's not realistic.
All right, Max. I want to hear your
No, I love James Gunn.
But all right, let's say I forgot to say hi to the chat.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Degrassi, Resident Justice, the Looney Gamer, Dan's Comic Corner, Jay Lynn, Nerdy Geek. What's up? Who else? Nwamba, Bridezilla. W Necron and Dungeon Crawler Call. What's up, buddy?
And Mama Bear doll.
And the queen of the Kingdom of Nerds, Mama Bear.
Mm-hmm.
All right, now what's your hot take?
And then RJ here, I for one am sick of the narrative of which asshole's bigger worse than the other.
Well,
assholes are assholes.
Well,
I'm sorry. There might be more assholes on one side. There might.
Okay. Dude, if you're a fan of something and somebody says something bad about that fan group, you don't have to take up arms about it. You can almost disassociate yourself from the whole. It's not a bad thing to do.
Okay, I will say this. There's more a-holes on the one side of fandom.
That's not true.
That side of the fandom has been around DC longer.
That's not true.
But ultimately the blame lands at Warner Brothers' feet.
What?
It's Warner Brothers that created this chaos before the Snyderverse was a thing. They constantly are overreactionary.
We're not going to do that. We're not going to bring up a 10-year-old argument, man.
No,
stop.
The Warner Brothers. Look, they're doing this with Mortal Kombat right now.
What does Mortal Kombat have to do with anything?
Horrible executive decisions. They always cut things off at their feet before it has time to progress. They're doing this right now with Mortal Kombat 1. Mortal Kombat 1 was supposed to have another season of characters. They made Ed Boon go back and make another Mortal Kombat instead of Injustice 3 because multiverses and because the constant change of leadership. Warner Brothers has consistently made bad decisions and left their dirty laundry out to the public.
You are literally talking about the old regime still.
No. Warner Brothers, I don't care who the hell is in charge. The Warner Brothers stink is still around even when Zack
has the current regime done anything like you've been like that? Have they?
Zaslav is more cutthroat than the last regime. You think if Superman underperforms that they're going to give grace to James Gunn to figure it out?
Yes.
You're full of shit.
Yes.
So the toxic.
He has earned that.
Let me be clear. Let me be clear before the audience in the panel and my fellow movie pundits start saying I'm justifying toxicity. No, anyone that's an ass and toxic does not deserve any excuse. I am just saying you have an IP holder like Warner Brothers that's made horrible decisions. I'm not going through every one. I'm not going through the proof. I followed this company since Nicolas Cage. I talked about it in the school bus when Nicolas Cage was going to be Superman and when Tim Burton was going to do Batman 3.
That gives you corporate experience because you followed them?
I know.
Have you sat in a board meeting or briefings? No.
This has been covered even Entourage. There's been shows about how volatile the executive decisions are up at the top of Warner Brothers. And just because Zaslav is in now, I think there's still people hanging around that have existed since Warner Brothers that are still contributing to horrible decisions. And they ain't gonna give James Gunn. They ain't gonna give James Gunn grace just because superhero fatigue or things like that. They're gonna be just as hard and reactionary on James Gunn as they were with the last versions of DC, especially because there's news about Warner Brothers stock tanking this week and they're rebranding again. But you know what? I think James Gunn's going to pull it out, though. I really do. I think he's got a better shot than the last version, even with Zack and Zack Snyder's Justice League. I love that. But I will be real. It did not hit like it should with the general public. It did not have that pull of crypto and some. There's a lot of toys being marketed right now, and getting into the sphere where young people are going to like this, like they like Spider-Man toys, is really what it needs. I do think James Gunn has a high chance of success, but this ultimately started and ends with Warner Brothers and leaving their dirty laundry out there for so long.
I don't think you can blame Warner Brothers
for
creating toxic James Gunn fans.
Let's just.
You can't blame them for that.
The last thing they did, whether you like it or not, and maybe I'll actually sway Brian on this. If you weren't going to use Henry Cavill
Are we going back to this?
No, yes, I fucking am. Brian.
Wow. Who the fuck are you? Go ahead.
I'm responding.
Where's the Snyder salt
Brian.
again?
No, Brian might actually agree
I don't
with
know because he sounds salty as fuck.
No, it's okay.
No, Brian,
Get him,
might
Brian.
actually agree with me.
Brian, your turn.
If you weren't going to use Henry Cavill, the Black Adam tease just to get people to buy tickets was BS.
It was.
Yes.
And it turned out to be BS.
Right. Yeah. So they shouldn't have done it if they were going to not use them, or they're going to lead fans along just to get them. They will do anything for money. They have no.
That's what they did to make a cheap buck, dude. They let us along.
It worked, didn't it? Yes.
That was bullshit for Henry Cavill and for us. And
it didn't matter anyway.
I was completely wrong because I thought Henry Cavill would never do that unless he had a contract, because his contract dispute up to that point. I'm like, and that's stupid on Cavill to have it not in writing. Yeah.
To be fair, hardcore Snyder fans were boycotting that movie anyway. They didn't care that Cavill was in that movie.
Not all of them. No. And people boycott everything. People boycott everything now.
Are you trying to revise history right here?
Whenever a studio and IP holder changes course and tries to do something before the story's over, someone always boycotts, regardless of the quality. It's just a fact now on the internet. And consumer boycotts are more popular than ever. You know, whether you say they work, that you could debate if they work or not. But whenever you leave stuff out there and don't finish a story, people are going to want to see the end of the story, whatever what story it is. And people always boycott, you know, or they say they're going to boycott and they watch it anyway. I didn't. Yeah. I didn't.
Did you go see Black Adam in the theaters?
Yes, I did.
Yeah. Day one, week one,
first weekend. Yes. Yeah. I still like it. I still like it a lot.
So, Brian, let Brian talk. We've been talking. Brian, what do you think of Mac's bad take?
Oh, it's not entirely a bad take. I mean, I understand part of the argument. Okay, yes.
Doesn't excuse toxic behavior though.
It doesn't. But this is a two-sided on the same coin here. I guess the best way to put it. Like, on one hand, you have the studio, which has fostered an environment of not staying the course. Okay.
And the way they fired
and the way they handle their
Zack.
talent.
Yeah.
It's just talent in general. Okay. They didn't handle Zack well. They didn't handle freaking Cavill well. Okay. They didn't handle anybody well.
They're still not handling Gal Gadot well. She thinks she might have a chance still.
You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, they're not doing a very good job of handling that. They've always had a bad track record of that. Okay.
Yes.
That's understandable. Okay. But on the other side of the token is that as fans, one, we shouldn't feel like we're constantly being victimized, because all we have to do is just stop. It's not hard. Just stop. I get it.
I don't like you. I don't like the narrative just because I bring things up that I'm a victim. I'm not saying I'm a victim. I'm saying this.
I'm not talking about you personally. And that's why I said you have to stop personally lumping Max in when you're talking about an entire group of people. I've been around the group for a very long time, and yes, Snyder fans feel victimized by Warner Brothers. That's a fact.
Yeah, I agree with that.
It's a trauma you still talk about to this very day.
I think a big portion of the
to be fair,
almost
Star Wars fans fans are victimized.
It's every group.
Even Doctor Who fans are playing victims now.
Well, I think a portion of the Zack Snyder fans would actually support James Gunn if Zack got to finish the story before they did James Gunn. I really do. I think a portion. Now, there's some that will just hate everything James Gunn.
I'm sorry. I support the Cell movement. I support my friends. I support
the thing about
that, and online that's their decision. But when Discovery took over Warner Brothers, there was no time to finish Zack's story. They had to hit the ground running with something new, something to
well, there was not enough
reassure the audience that Warner Brothers is Warner Brothers.
So for one very big reason, even if they wanted to do it, Zack, after the experience he went through, he wants final say, and that could even be on budget. I'm not going to do it unless I get this budget. That could be a thing too. And
Well,
they could not accommodate
do you
that.
know that for a fact, or that's just
No. I'm just saying that's just one reason why you couldn't bring Zack back. Is
Wait,
because
did he actually say that?
Because of what he demanded.
There's a good point there. What Necron's bringing up, they wanted something cheaper.
Yeah.
At this point, it would cost way too much to bring everybody back. Okay, it just on heads alone, actors alone, it would cost way too much to bring everybody back. Everything would, dude. No, they want something cheaper. Okay, James Gunn is cheaper. They're bringing in next to no name actors to play these roles, which will do well for them. It's a good thing that what they're doing now. I'm hoping that they're not going to act like they have in the past and be reactive. Mm-hmm. So, like I said, like I was saying, it's two sides of a coin. Okay. And with online toxicity, it just breeds more toxicity. If you come at somebody sideways on the internet, they're going to come right back at you sideways and then some. Okay.
Yeah. And W Necron, listen, I like the days of Geekosity. I miss Mikey. I miss all that stuff. I really liked him. I talked with him personally, privately off air. He's great. He was a great guy. I know people didn't like the way he scooped, whatever. I would still have a beer with him. I don't think that he personally attacked Geekosity. I think James Gunn just does not like scooping in general. I don't think it was targeted towards him personally. That's my take. He just does not like scoopers. He does not like the whole industry.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, and that's no, and like I said, Necron, you're not wrong. They definitely. I'm not excusing Warner Brothers, and if it sounds like I am, I apologize. I am not excusing what they did, how they handled any situation. Okay, but as fans, we have a decision on how we react to those decisions. Okay, and I don't think as fans we've done our best in terms of reaction. Okay, it's bled out into real lives.
Well, and that's
getting messed with. Relationships being destroyed. Like it's the dark side of what we've been doing. I've seen personally, and it's one of the reasons why I quit. I don't want to be on regularly talking about this stuff because it's not fun to me.
I looking at a lot of the Gunn fans that are on YouTube and in chats and Snyder fans in chats and YouTube. I can see how they can they can latch on to these directors because they probably
dude, it's nerd team sports.
Don't have that in their lives with close relationship with people.
Seriously. Okay, guys.
They're loners.
As guys who are not like major sports fans, let me explain something to you. Okay, when you're a fan of a sports team, you're a fan of that sports team. Okay, nothing comes between you and that sports team, depending on what sport is. Okay, there's people who are fans of the Dallas Cowboys who are just that's all they live for is the Dallas Cowboys, and they will fight to the death to defend the name of their damn team. Okay, same thing with this, whether it be Marvel, Star Wars, DC, it doesn't matter. Okay, whatever side you land on something, it becomes like a tribal thing. Okay, where it's our team versus your team, and if your team sucks, I'm going to hate everything about your team.
And then the other thing,
it's how I feel about the Los Angeles Dodgers. Okay, I'm a San Francisco Giants fan.
The other big factor here is social media disease.
Oh no,
and algorithms and bubbles. But I will also say to this, and Snyder fans would probably do this too if they won. People that are winners, because listen, Gunn fans, you're eating well right now. You're winning.
That's what I'm talking about.
You rub it in people's face. I see stuff all the time, like daily reminder that the Snyderverse is over. Like that's just that's a tame thing I see every day. It's rubbing it in other people's face.
I never understood this whole thing of celebrating when something fails or something gets canceled. And they do it on both sides. And it's
Yankees
really if you love watching movies and love stuff like that. I don't understand. Why would you want anything to fail? Why would you celebrate that?
But it's Yankees.
Why would that bring joy to your small life?
Because the
I
Yankees
don't get it.
lost. It's because the Yankees lost. Okay, you're wearing a Yankees hat. Yankees.
No,
Red Sox.
if James Gunn doesn't get continued,
I don't give a damn if the Red Sox win. They're not going to win, but you know,
if James Gunn
damn.
doesn't get to continue his version, I will be upset too.
Shut up, Brian.
The back rolls may not ever get released. I'm upset with that too. I'm upset that everyone doesn't get there.
Speaking of Batgirl, shout out to resident movie guy. No. Movie guy. Little movie perp. Thanks for watching. Hi, RJ.
I know he's saying, I can only guess that he's saying I'm absolutely right and has no issues with what I said at all, blaming Warner Brothers.
No. Oh, please. I'm pretty sure
anything I got
purpose saying right now is being pushed back by my good friend Degrassi.
Basically, what I'm saying is,
I just want to.
I'll take Degrassi over you any day of the week.
I just want to get him started. That's all.
Don't start with Degrassi. You can't handle
Warner
Degrassi.
Brothers does not have.
I don't need to handle him. I'm not going to be on with Degrassi. I mean, I could be. Watch him be on the Power next week. Look at RJ trying to get on. Look at RJ trying to get on the panel. You should have a representative of each respective fandom on the show to keep this fair and balanced. He's asking for a link, basically. And he
is the most unbiased person.
Honestly, I think this is about as good as you're gonna get because Max, yes, he is a Snyder dude. Okay, Bruce, he is more for DC both. In general.
I'm just a DC fan, and I don't care. I don't believe in this Snyderverse and this Gunverse because these directors do not own these goddamn characters. These characters have been around for 80 years, and they'll be around 80 years after these guys are gone.
Corporate simp. The corporations own the IP. You simp.
They do own the IP.
I can't stand that.
And this whole thing.
Then don't hire creative to do their vision. Then
you really just think that
AI? Yeah.
You really. That's just like when art writers get hired at
I really it's a pet peeve of mine when you're not isolated doing this, Bruce. There's a big contingent of movie talk fans that simp for the corporate executives.
Simp for the corporate.
Yeah. Well, the creative doesn't own the IP.
You know what?
They don't own the IP.
They don't create a movie. Let them do let them cook. Let Zack cook.
We saw what happens when certain directors cook.
They didn't give it a chance. They didn't let the meal. They weren't ready for the. They tried to serve the meal before it was finished. They tried to serve the meal before it was finished. You have to have a finished meal. You know, a whole 4-course meal.
You know, sometimes people don't want to stay for a 9-course meal at 8 o'clock at night on a Sunday. Some people want to go to work.
I know the IP holders. I cannot. It's a pet peeve of mine that they go to bat for executives, changing people's direction and taking over films, locking them out of the films like they've done multiple times. Even Gareth Edwards. Gareth Edwards just handled it like a champ, and that's why he's on Jurassic World.
I'm sorry.
Kathy Kennedy gave him that after he let what's the guy that just did Andor? Tony Gilroy take over his movie. Yeah. He let him do it, and he handled it like a champ, but I don't think they should have done that shit.
What about Lord and Miller?
Lord and Miller did not take it like Kathy wanted, and they are not working at Disney. They moved to Sony.
There you go.
They were not happy with it. Does that mean you should just take the shit that rolls downhill from executives?
Dude.
F no.
Okay.
Listen, these characters, unlike regular movies, like these, there is a certain storybook, lore book for Marvel and DC characters.
Yeah.
These directors know what they sign up for when they sign on to these movies. They have to play within the lines and rules of these
executives
lore and existing stories. They can't deviate from that too much. Or else, the general audience revolts and like, this is crap.
Okay, out of the history of movie making, there have been sometimes executive decisions have been good. There's definitely ones where they made horrible reactionary decisions and overstepped and ruined the movie. You know.
Okay, no, I'm not denying that, but at the end of the day, you got to move on, man. It's not.
That's not the point of the argument. I know. I've moved on.
No, you haven't.
They complete.
You
WB left
it
his dirty laundry out there for way too long.
You're
It makes
still
me
upset
mad
about The Last Jedi.
that I have to
I'm
defend
not. No, I'm not.
corporations on these panels, and that makes me so mad. You don't understand. Like my mid 2000s millennial heart is breaking at this moment, dude. My stick it to the man.
Millennial.
Done, bro. Done.
Bruce is stating misinformation. I am not still upset with The Last Jedi. The sequel trilogy finished. Probably the Disney and Star Wars.
Dude, you literally tried to throw hands when we were watching it.
Let me finish.
Come on.
Disney went a different route. They did not delay the ninth movie, the third in the trilogy. They went full steam ahead, made a horrible movie, but they finished the story. Actors are dead. There's no way we are going to get them adjusting Luke's storyline at all. It's over. It's done. And there's other Star Wars. So that was another thing that if they did the Flash when they were originally going to do it, they might not ever got the Snyder Cut released. So I'm happy for that. They fumbled it on the Flash for years and years and years. And that was always going to be the movie that they changed course and redirected. Always, always, always. But no, the sequel trilogy is what it is. I don't like it. I love The Force Awakens. The Last Jedi, I like a lot of stuff in there. And seeing The Rise of Skywalker makes me appreciate that they killed Luke off in The Last Jedi, because The Rise of Skywalker sucks. And I'm like, thank God they killed him off in a better movie, because there's no way they would have let him live past that trilogy.
And to be fair,
yes,
Max was the last boycotter. The only reason he watched it is because somebody gave him a
copy.
So
I moved on. Star Wars has gotten better since then.
Max is a whore, we know.
Yeah. So no, I am not still upset about.
Have you still finished?
You are still upset about. You can bring it up. You still bring it?
No, I'm not. They at least they finished it. There's no way to go back and adjust Luke now.
Can you not agree to the fact that no matter what discussion you're having on your channels of short bus people, that
don't be disrespecting my channels.
I'm not talking about the viewers. I'm talking about the panel. So whatever conversation happens, it always goes back to why Kathleen Kennedy, why Snyderverse, why Gunn. It always goes back to, no matter what you're talking about.
And then I come on the stream and I ask, hey, has anybody seen Andor yet?
He's made a lot of mistakes.
I haven't seen it yet. Oh, I haven't seen it yet.
But
I'll watch it later. Oh, I'll watch it later. Have you finished Andor?
I started watching Andor over the weekend. I'm 5 episodes in.
Yeah. Okay. See, that's my point. Okay. You know, damn it, man. But no, it makes me upset that I have to defend things in your eyes on these streams, because, you know, sometimes shit's out of our hands.
You know, and if you go against the majority consensus of like what's good and bad in these movies or fandoms, they come at you hard.
Yeah,
there's
I want to go hard.
No playing around. They come for you. You are not allowed to disagree or dislike. It's insane.
I'm gonna go hard at Phil right now. I know a big portion of what she does is announce things that never happen. Announce them at celebrations, and a lot of stuff falls through. And then she says everyone's too busy.
You know, a lot of you guys.
Some of the stuff she does is good. Tony Gilroy.
All these announcements you guys claim she made were made by trades.
No.
Only a few were announced.
I'm not doing this yes argument again.
No. Nope.
No, Lucasfilm works with the trades. That's catch. They play softball.
Been on stage, and announced shit that's never happened before. Right. It's been done.
Yeah, a few things, but I'm saying that's happened, but not to the extent that Max believes.
Acolyte. I got new information about how Acolyte was supposed to be multiple seasons. Was supposed to be a big launching point.
Who told you this?
Someone I trust.
Oh my God!
It has a huge channel.
Trust me,
100K.
bro. Trust me, bro.
It
No
has sources
receipts,
that
no
has
proof.
Would you let me answer? This
Holy
channel I
shit.
used to collaborate with, they have sources at Lucasfilm, and they're not anti-Kathy. They wouldn't just throw that out there. They're not anti-Kathy.
Trust me, bro.
What
I
did I
think I know who he's talking about. But
Star Wars only, okay? Brian knows Star Wars only.
Yeah.
It's the legit channel. He's not going to just put BS out there.
He is. He's not a hater.
Right. He recently said on his X profile that yes, the Acolyte was supposed to be a multi-season or multi-part endeavor. It failed. I love it. It's some of the best Star Wars ever.
I don't think it failed. How did it fail?
You didn't do the other
numbers
part.
the numbers have been.
How can
they
you
were the highest show, pretty much.
How can you say it didn't fail?
You think it failed?
Yes, if they're not continuing it, yes.
Oh my god!
Brian, there was a huge push behind the Acolyte before it was aired.
Was multiple seasons greenlit or just one season greenlit with an option?
I don't know the fact on that one.
We don't know the fact. No one knows.
They were in the writing process of season 2 and they pulled the plug in the
But if you watch the show, it looks like they were intending to make more than one season.
I don't know why
as for somebody who thoroughly enjoyed the Acolyte,
yes, I loved it.
They clearly made that for more seasons. Yes. There was so much setup.
And you have Leslie Headland, who won awards on her previous show with Russian Dolls. That was a big hire. That was a big deal. You know?
Dude, why would you not? Why would you put?
I don't think it's a failure.
Why would you put Darth Plagueis in there?
Yes, Darth Plagueis a reveal.
Yeah,
we're gonna go to the apologists like Bruce and Perp if he's still watching.
What are you talking about? Apologists.
I just enjoyed what we got.
You know why they put Darth Plagueis in there? Put Darth Plagueis in there? Fan service and to make him canon in Star Wars. Because before that, he was not canon.
Okay, we're jumping through hoops trying to explain why there's not more Plagueis. Oh, it was
George
good
Lucas.
enough.
Only thing that's canon is live action.
Brian knows Plagueis being in live action
George
was a big deal.
He created Star Wars.
You don't just do that if you're not going to do anything.
You never heard of sitcoms having cliffhangers and not continuing? It happens.
That's because sitcoms get canceled too.
Or a Netflix show. It doesn't matter. Anyways.
Yeah, I was going to say this too. Plagueis was canon. He was name dropped in Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where it came
But not in the flesh, though. Yeah.
But anyways, that
name dropping someone doesn't make him canon until they show up.
Okay, Okay, Phil, I apologize, Brian. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Phil is triggering.
And yes,
I love you, Phil.
You do have a fun.
That's why you respond way too much.
You explain, expert Phil, explain what she does then, because she's the money person. She's in charge of creative. She gets things greenlit.
I agree with Phil. You have no idea what her job entails.
She also works with IP to do the licensing agreements, and she gets things announced that don't happen. And half the things, and that's generous, half the things don't come out. And we haven't had a Star Wars movie in the theater for 5 years. And that is a failure. Whether you think that the shows
does that mean George Lucas failed? How many times? Because how long between
he failed so hard he had to sell it to Disney.
Disney has a lot more funds
than Brian
George does. And George was developing a TV show, a 3D conversion of the prequels. And he also failed with Indiana Jones 4 Succession, bad things, and he didn't think he could survive doing it, so he sold it off. Yes, but to say that George on his own with his companies, which still had a lot of money, is equal to Disney and all the money they have to go to the well, is not a fair comparison. Disney had a lot. Disney had a lot
more.
What
are you talking about?
In money behind them to go and expand the universe than George.
There was enough money made off the original trilogy. He could have kept Star Wars going for a decade if he wanted.
He would have used all his money from Lucasfilm.
The thing is he
to get all his projects going.
No, dude, he reinvested all that money into ILM, dude.
Yes,
it's in the documentary.
But he tried to do the show
and money off Star Wars.
He had scripts written for Star Wars Underworld. He could not do it at a reasonable price at that
It's
time.
just no, dude. From Empire Strikes Back onward, he made those movies himself.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I can understand if he ran out of money because everything's expensive.
And to be fair, his last few projects were not well received.
They ran out of money with Clone Wars, and last time I checked, Red Tails didn't make a lot of money.
And Indiana Jones 4 was a big,
That
big
was
letdown.
a failure.
Yeah.
No, if I remember correctly, though, wasn't Acolyte critically kind of shat upon? Not by the general people on YouTube, but like just by like critics.
I think
alone.
the critics liked Acolyte. I think
critics like
not like overwhelmingly, but I think
yeah,
above.
It was
I think it was
like a 75, 80 or something like that. But no, I'm just saying
that's
like
still a high number.
But I'm not
out of
saying
100.
it's a failure by any stretch. Okay, but I mean, because I thoroughly enjoyed the show, but if we're using the whole it should if it gets another season it's a success type thing. I mean Obi-Wan. I don't think we're gonna get another season of that. And I'm pretty sure that was
people don't call Obi-Wan a failure. I wonder why.
The differential there is the
why
Obi-Wan was always sold as a limited series.
No,
the Acolyte had a lot more marketing push, and they were developing, if it wasn't multiple seasons, multiple projects to tie into that world.
I never understood this whole Acolyte failed, it was canceled, blah 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 blah. I don't see the same energy for the Book of Boba Fett.
Fine, I wanted another season of Book of Boba Fett. What do you want me to say? It went underperformed.
Some people might or might not know. The Book of Boba Fett sucked. I don't want to see a second season of that shit. Okay.
A lot of people I know love that show, and they wanted a second season.
I would prefer him to not.
Yes, Don wants another season.
Of course he does. So
if we could do Star Wars Tatooine free from now on, I would be a happy person.
I mean, I enjoyed Book of Boba Fett, but I mean, there's not.
It was a back.
I don't know why we have this denial about. Well, you don't know for sure that the Acolyte was a multi. There's sources that suggested. I trust the sources, and the marketing push was huge behind that show. And I think
it costs too much to make.
And honestly,
ergo they
I don't care.
Like I said, there was a writer's strike and then an actor's strike.
There's the excuses.
You don't think that impacted the budget?
I think it impact the budget. Yeah,
it has a factor, but I do know one of the biggest things. Whether you think people should feel this way or not, when Leslie Hendon and the main actress are there and saying this is the gayest Star Wars ever, I have no problem with that. There's a lot of people, it turned them off and they didn't watch it. Whether you think they should or not, I'm fine with that. I think the story was great. And then they talk about lesbian
that's because
witches. They didn't even check out to see if it was accurate.
That was come on, Max.
That's a factor. I'm sorry.
Come on, Max. Please, come on. That was being said long before they said it. She was just saying it as a joke and making a funny joke.
I know, but the narrative was this is the gayest thing ever. That's how they promoted it. That was the soundbite from thing.
I don't think
and then everyone's talking
it wasn't
about
promoted that way.
I'm saying that's how the narrative formed. That's how the narrative formed.
Agatha all along, that was probably the gayest thing ever in Marvel, and it was amazing.
No,
that didn't affect the numbers. I'm just saying.
No, I don't think it was. I don't think the Acolyte was the gayest Star Wars ever.
It wasn't.
But I'm saying that narrative formed and those sound bites went out, and people, whether you think they should or not, got turned off by that interview, laughing at everything, and
parts of the sequel trilogy was everybody wanted Poe and Finn. They wanted them to bang. Just saying.
Yeah. What I'm saying consistently when this, whether you like it or not, consistently when these shows are on the press tour and when people do this stuff. Whether you like it or not, I have no problem with it personally. I can remove the art from the artist, even if it is the gayest thing ever. I don't care. As long as it's a good story.
I think we derailed this stream.
No, I'm saying this happens on multiple
Snyder and Gunn, please.
This happens on multiple shows. When that happens on the press tour, people run with it, the narratives and stuff, and then there's some people that don't tune in because of that. I don't think that should happen, but it does. And I think that's why people didn't give it a chance, unfortunately. I
So
really
let's
do.
get back to Gunn Snyder fans and blah blah blah
Okay.
blah.
Okay. I apologize. I'm being real though.
But I do think fans have to take responsibility for how they conduct themselves in public.
Yes, I agree.
Please and thank you.
Oh, absolutely.
Doesn't matter what side you're on. Doesn't matter. Just I don't want to say be better, but come on now, be better.
You know, and I will say this: there are a lot of YouTubers out there with bad takes and doing this whole thing to drive up viewership and get their audience riled up. And they're probably the worst because their audiences look to them for leadership and guidance as I don't know, fans or whatever. And just be honest with your audience. Don't get them upset. Don't send them after other people. It's just stupid at this point.
No, it's listen, I would ask the Gun Nuts to show some grace that you're winning right now. You're eating good if you're a James Gunn fan. And
See,
you know,
this
Zack
is the problem. You want to call names.
No. They don't know how.
They Gun Nuts like to be called Gun Nuts.
It doesn't
Snyder
matter.
Bros like to be called Snyder
Bros.
Bros.
Know how to show grace.
They don't.
No, they don't.
No, you're winning now.
DNA.
You're winning.
You know, you may be winning on the internet, but you're not winning in real life.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. That's the whole thing. That's part of being a nerd. As a nerd, you're not winning in real life. Okay. So when you win on the internet, it's the biggest thing ever because that's all you know.
Mm-hmm. I'm just saying you're winning now. You're going to get your movie that's going to hopefully open a whole universe of DC.
Of course,
you know,
I'm gonna rub your nose in it.
You're going to what?
I said, of course, but I'm going to rub your nose in it.
You're going to rub my nose in it.
I'm not literally, but I'm just saying, as someone, you're going to get your dude. It's when one team wins the championship, the losing team gets the shit talked about them.
That's all right. That's true. That's
across the board.
Wrestling
doesn't matter. Wrestling, you name it.
Saying, sports.
Anytime you put one thing against another, and one thing comes out on top, that's what happens.
Let's talk about this whole fake, overzealous, glorifying Superman. This is the best thing ever. This is amazing. Blah 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 blah. Well, I've seen a lot of YouTubers do that. That end of the day, they're just doing it because they're gonna shit on it when it comes out. Just saying.
No,
so
they're
you are overly praising the Superman trailer.
Yes,
is that what you're saying?
Overly praising anything.
That's just a YouTube. Yeah. That's just a YouTube problem. You either
TikTok, you can't Instagram, just stop.
Okay. This is like those. There are channels and Twitter handles that
Nerds
all they do.
Winners. Yay.
That all they do is say, "Oh my God, look at this little fraction of a sequence from the James Gunn Superman movie. It looks amazing," and they retweet that 20 times a day.
But they do that about everything.
Yes, and that's not to isolate the James Gunn or Snyder fans. Like, I don't listen. There's Snyder Bros that still every day say, "Look at this scene from BVS is amazing." I'm like, it is amazing, but how the hell are you tweeting about it in 2025? So it's an internet thing. You get attention. You get attention if you're.
Look at it. Let me read this.
Kissing someone's ass that much.
Here we go. I think it's because Gunn fans are constantly on defensive from negativity and BS narrative.
You can ignore it.
So when they play defense, they go hard in the paint. The paint. Wow. RJ,
this is
the basketball player over here. Reference. Not saying it's right, but you know.
No. I will say this: RJ is a lot better than
the biggest antagonizer. I know.
Not anymore. Not anymore. He really tried. He really tries. I seen him show some restraint.
Now I see other people picking that mantle up and doing the click rage bait, and they're not doing it very well.
Well,
they're just looking like assholes.
There's a big contingent of social media influencers, YouTubers that the majority of their stuff is triggering fans, and they just jump from one to the next. What way is the best way to get engagement? What fandom can you easily trigger? And there's Gun Nuts. They get triggered just like Zack Snyder fans used to get triggered.
I know.
Like if you think it looks good, why are you upset that anyone else thinks it doesn't?
See a little of yourself, like Snyder fans. If you don't see a little of yourself in the Gunn fans, like I don't know what to tell you. Like
Donovan Martin. Shout out to Donovan.
That was you 2 years ago.
Well, shout out to Donovan. Why does he get so upset when someone thinks something doesn't look good or Superman's going to fail? If you think it's going to succeed, why do you care what someone else thinks?
It's like I said, it's the team mentality for people who aren't used to that. Like, and I don't mean to be an asshole or anything like that, but like,
who's not letting you be excited about it? I'm letting you be excited about it. I mean, I'm glad. I'm excited about it.
I think there's a wrestling guy I used to watch every once in a while.
I mean,
his saying is like what you like, but don't be a dick.
What are you trying to say here? What is RJ trying to say? Like, not let you be like when Gunn fans are praising the stuff from the trailer and Snyder fans like, well, Cavill was great and he's better. I mean, that they're still talking about their fandom. Why do you care? I don't know.
Because that's you shit on my good time, bro.
That's not.
But that's what I'm saying.
They're taking
it's
it
not
that way. Okay.
literally, but that's the way it's taken. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, as fans, we have control over how we react to things. Even if we see something on Twitter and it makes us mad, and we go on a fucking 20 clip scree about it.
I want Bruce's take on this. Even if there wasn't the hostility of Zack Snyder leaving, and maybe if he finished his arc, people are going to compare this Superman to Christopher Reeves, to Brandon Routh, to Henry Cavill. Nerds are always going to do that. Well, this Superman was the best. Yes.
And then they did it with Batman.
Right. This Batman sucks. This Batman's the best. It's the easiest.
Michael Keaton.
It's the laziest. Bale. It's the laziest thing to do.
You know, I one thing I will say is I really, really hate when you talk about something, whether it be a movie or a comic, you love and you turn around and shit on the previous version of it. You don't have to shit on previous versions of Superman or Batman to love what's out now. How about just enjoying what's there and enjoying without having to shit on stuff? It just sounds stupid.
That's what I've personally had to do, is remove my personal baggage and the baggage I know about Warner Brothers and behind the scenes that should not be public knowledge. A lot of this shit should not be public knowledge. And just saying, looking at this trailer, would I be excited without thinking about if Cavill should have continued, if I would have got it? And that's how I've tried to handle it. I did say when they first did the BS with Cavill, I said my wallet was closed too. And then I changed my mind when I said I reserve the right if the trailer is amazing, it really looks good. And that's how I've been able to handle it. Remove that. And this is what I like to tell Superman fans. Regardless of what camp you're in, the Snyderverse, the Hamadaverse, the Gunnverse, the pre-Snyderverse, or whatever, we've never had a bad Superman. So if you're a Superman fan, we've always had a really decent representation of Superman and Clark Kent. They've all been good. Like, if you remove your personal baggage, I think if people remove their personal baggage, Cornswith doesn't look bad. The suit doesn't look bad. Maybe it's not your favorite suit, but it doesn't look bad. It still looks good. It still looks like they're putting some effort into it, right? Brian, we've never really had a bad Superman.
Not really. I like Brandon Routh. You know, Dean Cain wasn't too bad.
So everyone bashing the other Superman is kind of ridiculous to me. Like, I watched the Superman trailer and I said, there's some stuff here that's a lot of homage to Snyder. It's not copying it, but this new trailer takes like the best of every Superman for me.
I'm gonna put this in another sports reference, and I swear this should be the last one. Okay, I'm a 49er fan. So back in the 80s, we had this guy named Joe Montana, who was fantastic. Won his 4 Super Bowls, best quarterback ever. Anywho, in the 90s, there's this guy named Steve Young. Okay, so in 88 to like 92, when they were both on the same team, everybody in the fandom was discussing, who do you like better, Steve Young or Joe Montana? You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing. Mm-hmm. It's the same thing with football quarterbacks as you're going to get with superheroes.
No one said Dean Cain sucked until he got political on the internet. I will stick to that. Everyone liked Lois and Clark.
I didn't like Lois and Clark.
Most people, I will say.
It was good for what it was. It was a soap opera. It was more
for Lois. It was more for Lois, really.
I didn't like it. I will say this. I know we said it earlier that
49ers
both sides are they play victims They do. Gunn
They
fans
do.
and Snyder
And
fans, they play victim.
them from the
And that is
outside.
very evident what's going on in the chat right now. Don't come at me. Wah, wah. It's going on in the chat. Both sides are being victims in the chat right
No,
now.
I think they're doing pretty good based on the sub. I think I shout out
Yeah,
to the chat. I
they're
think
playing
they're
victim.
being
doing,
civil. They're being civil.
I think
I'll
they're
give
doing
them
pretty
that.
good
Still
today.
playing victim.
But no, dude, that's been like that since day one, dude. Ever since I got involved with the quote unquote Snyder movement, and that's all it's been. It's just one day of being a victim after another. It's okay though. I you know, I'll be all right. I'll be all right. But yeah, no, as fans, we just need to do a little bit better in our term or in how we react to things.
Can we
Like
talk?
if you're scrolling on Twitter, do you have to click on the damn link? You know, because it pisses you
Yeah.
off, or can you just keep
Well, I
going?
mean, that's the social media disease. I've got really good at ignoring shit. I shouldn't say that publicly, but I'm excellent, and my algorithms are great. I get fed all kind of new bands and stuff because I watch the music videos, and I get all kinds of great stuff in my feed. Speaking of that, this is in my feed on X. Shout out to Belle Reeve. First off, Sean O'Rourke has never been more wrong about anything about Millie Alcock. She is amazing.
Why did we bring this up?
Well, she's making I want to go watch.
Are we talking about her acting as a body of work, or are you just talking about her?
I'm talking about her. I'm talking about her body of work and everything else too. And she is amazing. No, and Belle Reeve said she is young. I googled. She is 25
This is why we have
old.
gooners because of Max.
I am not gooning over her.
You are
but
gooning.
You're
a 40-plus-year-old man gooning over a 20-year-old girl. Come on.
25. I can respect
25-year-old woman.
She is going to stun as Supergirl. I can't wait to watch the interview she did this week. Look at this. Look at this. Look here. This is her on the press tour. This just popped in my algorithm. Winning. Look at that. Look. Oh my God.
Max.
And
you know how creepy you sound right now? You sound really creepy.
I'm not creepy.
This is not the mic drop.
I could say
I'm calling you out and you're being creepy.
I am an equal opportunist for beautiful people. I enjoy the beauty of many shapes, sizes, and everything. And I'm just saying she is.
I'm a 40-year-old man would say no to that. I'll tell you.
I am saying she is stunning, and she is going to be amazing for Supergirl when we see the trailer. It's only a year away. I can't wait to watch the interviews where she's on. And I want to also say this because what Millie Bobby Brown, how people were treating her like a kid just because where she started her career. Don't treat this woman like a little girl. She is a woman. She's going to have a big career, and I think it's going to be.
What does this have to do with the main topic, Max?
I wanted to add another. She's playing Supergirl, and she is a woman, even though she's a Supergirl, but she's a woman now. Treat her with respect. Her career is going to be more than just where it started with Game of Thrones, is what I'm saying.
Can I have my moment?
Don't 11 her like Millie Bobby Brown, where you always got to treat her like a kid. When these, child talent, when they start their career young, they have enough problems as it is. Let's not treat them like that. I think you're not even gonna think about House of Dragons once you
can I just have like a minute to talk about myself?
Yeah.
All right. We at Kingdom of Nerds do not condone gooning by MME or any of their panelists. Thank you.
This is not the Gooner Dungeon. Don't worry. No gooning. No gooning happens down here.
Let Diddy cook.
Diddy?
Wow.
There's a vibe there, Robotic Dre.
Max Diddy. Oh my God, my audience is killing you right here.
No. I have no baby oil down here. This is not the Gooner Dungeon.
That is the Gooner Dungeon.
No, it is not.
As you can see, Callie is hiding.
Figure drawing. I almost want to block you again there. You're ridiculous. You're going to be changing your tune once the trailer comes out. Don't even say that, RJ. Boo. I'm going to block you. Time out for that. I'm saying there's a habit of when entertainers, you first meet them in a role that you you typecast them in that role. And
She was
it
the
actually
realm's delight, is what
it
you're trying to say?
actually really, they were shaming Millie Bobby Brown for dressing like an adult. And then she went on the record and said, "Don't treat me like this. You're being disrespectful because of where you first saw me in my my role on Stranger Things, you know." And I feel like that same vibe is happening to Millie Alcock. Let her be. I think her career is going to be much bigger than House of Dragons. You know. And speaking of which, we have another lady to talk about since Bruce isn't here. I don't know where Bruce went. Hold on here. Oh, here it is. There's something yeah, we're talking about another lady. Sophie Turner. Which is very interesting that we thought that Tomb Raider was canceled. What's really interesting about this, though, Bruce, do you know about this? Because I'm really looking forward to Tomb Raider.
I mean, you got a different picture of her, but
I've never been a big fan of Tomb Raider.
No,
so it is what it is.
This picture is important, Bruce or Brian. The reason this picture is being shown,
it AI?
No.
Oh, okay.
She put this up on Instagram. As far as we do, from Waller Bridge, the person that was in the last the lady that was in the last Indiana Jones, and she was going to be a showrunner for Amazon Studios. That we heard a few months ago that this was not going forward. A few months before that, we heard about Sophie Turner being cast as Lara Croft, and then this week, Sophie Turner put this on Instagram, and people. Thank you, Grumpy Old Marine. Subscribe to Movie Madness Entertainment, where we
a lot of my viewers did subscribe, and they unsubscribed after watching a few shows. I'm sorry, back.
So what's interesting about this specific image is she released it, and people were asking, why did Sophie Turner release this? And she looks like ripped. So what is this for? And people were like, she's got to be still working as Lara Croft for the Tomb Raider series. And I think they're trying to play a PR game here where they are removing Phoebe Waller-Bridge from this project and keeping Sophie Turner as Lara Croft. And I think she is getting ready for this project. And then she personally removed her own post, which is very like why would you do that? Because everyone put 2 and 2 together, and it's like she's getting ready for Lara. I think she looks great. I'm very excited. I get very excited when any entertainer really embraces the action hero, just like Chris Pratt. When Chris Pratt was first announced as Star-Lord, people like the fat guy from or not the fat guy, the chubby guy from Parks and Rec, and then everyone was like, what? And then he got ripped and in shape and ready for Star-Lord and blew it out the park, you know? So we first met her as Sansa Stark, right? Sansa and Game of Thrones, and she's going to have a career past Game of Thrones as well. And I'm really looking forward to the new Tomb Raider series,
man.
Well, yeah, she was, but you know,
man, haters.
Tomb Raider has always been a mid property to me.
I think
Angelina Jolie was amazing in it.
I think Tomb Raider is important as Indiana Jones. I really do. And I like that they recast Laura, but they haven't recast Indiana. And now
I'm just disappointed in Uncharted, since we're in the realm of talking about it.
Uncharted was a big letdown.
Yeah.
You're better off playing the game or watching the cutscenes than that movie. Like I said,
the greatest hits or whatever.
Two of the worst actors on the planet in the same.
Wait, what did you say about tits, Brian?
Oh, I had the
I don't know how we got here, Grumpy.
I don't know.
I want to know about tits. What did you say?
No, I didn't say tits.
What?
I said something that sounded like it.
What did you say? That's why I was asking him to elaborate. What are you talking about?
What? Why? What is going on tonight?
I was asking for clarification.
I don't remember what we were even talking about.
First of all, I don't know what we were talking about. First, we brought up pictures of young women, and then Max is gooning Max Daddy right here.
No, I was saying that I have the greatest hits.
You have
hits.
Greatest hits.
Uncharted 1, 2, and 3, same box. Red
Okay.
and Black, PlayStation, greatest
I love
hits.
I love those games.
I don't know why I apologize, audience.
It
Please forgive
sounds
me.
like when you say
I don't
hits,
know why I
it
heard
sounds like you're
tits. I'm
saying
sorry.
tits.
I really
I get it, man.
apologize.
I
You
get
know,
it.
I understand that you heard tits
I heard the greatest tits and I was
because
like,
you're
what?
used to your Friday nights and the mic drop and you and your ball handler
I'm sorry.
Voltaire. I
No
don't
one's
know.
gonna be. Listen, I apologize. No one's gonna be handling my balls Friday night. I'll be out of town, at the cottage, so we're not gonna have the mic drop or to the max Friday or Saturday, and maybe not a member stream Sunday. I'll be out of town.
Hell yeah.
God damn it.
Grumpy old Marine, I apologize. I had to clarify. I am so sorry. You know,
I think that'd be a
I had
perfect
one before. I had one before the stream.
I think that'll be a perfect opportunity for a MME takeover by Bruce and Brian to do a show Saturday.
Okay.
That's fine.
All right.
I do something
You know.
besides freaking to the max.
But I'm happy
panel
about
is invite only.
Mhm.
That's fine. We'll do it like a tier.
I for one, and listen, I'm not going to try to restore the Vikanderverse, but I thought Alicia Vikander was a great.
Oh my God, are we still talking about this?
I like Lara Croft.
Hey, Tomb Raider's relevant.
Yes,
I guess.
Fun game.
Listen, we're not going to get Indiana Jones for a while, so the only other thing I could do is I could rebuy the Indiana Jones Chronicles on DVD, which is harder to get. I have two of the 3 volumes. I have VHS tapes. I would love Indiana Jones to be recast, but we're not going to get that. And Uncharted, they still want to go with Tom Holland. I like Tom Holland as Peter Parker, not as Nathan Drake.
Who?
Peter Parker and Spider-Man.
Tom Holland, the worst actor ever.
And I got to go back and play the rebooted. I never played the most recent Lara Croft trilogy. I've heard it's really good, and I've never played it, and you can get it pretty affordably now. So I do want to go play the games, and I really am looking. I hope this is a series instead of a movie. I would love a Lara Croft series. And honestly, I know shade to Phoebe Waller-Bridge, but I'm not going to miss her because she got a multi-million-dollar contract years, and they said nothing came of it. No movies, no scripts. She had her chance. Move on and keep Sophie Turner for Lara Croft. Or hire someone else. I want the series, though, on Amazon. Amazon might have Lara Croft and James Bond. Can you imagine?
Oh, jeez.
I do want to show you something. Let me find it. I'll be right back.
Okay.
But no,
I'm glad you're excited about it, Brian.
Yeah, no, I've always liked the Tomb Raider movies, going all the way back to
Have you played the
Angelina
games?
Jolie, yeah, on regular ass PlayStation.
I played some of the remasters. I did not play the most. I want to go back and play the original or the.
Look what I got.
Ooh, is that from the Milkbone?
Yes, it is.
I ordered it. Thank you, Bruce. But it was like $7 shipping.
Who cares? This book is going for $80 right now. $80.
Okay.
And the box of dog treats are going for $30 to $50.
You know what you should do? You should send it to the CGC or whatever with the box and the comic to get them both put in plastic.
They won't do that.
They won't do it for dog biscuits?
No, they won't do that.
This box of milk
then on the back, put a super dog in your life.
Callie better.
If I super chat you, would you eat these on cam?
Yeah.
They don't taste bad. Have you ever had a dog biscuit before?
I mean,
no.
I'll do. You want me to do that when I get my milk bones? I'll eat them with Callie on camera.
Yes, I would love to see that.
That would be funny. I'll put that in my intro. That would be hilarious.
Does Bruce have a dog? Yes, myself.
Remember those Atkins bars?
Yeah,
that's what a dog biscuit tastes like.
I've never tried a dog biscuit. I'll do it on.
All right, I have a real topic. I'm like what Max was talking about.
I had some great topics
at a feed store.
David Cornsweat has expressed interest in being in Star Wars. He wants to play a Jedi.
Sure. I don't know, more Jedi fool. No.
Another white male wants to be a Jedi. Good going, Corn Sweat.
Oh, shut up, Max.
Oh, shut up, Max.
What? I'm saying yes, okay, I'm up for it.
Oh my God. You know, this is not the time to be
Generic white guy.
This is not the time to be a latte liberal right now.
Yeah.
Come on.
Seriously.
Get your cappuccino to go with your soy milk. Get out of here.
I see Corn Sweat as more of a pilot smuggler. So I would want to see something different because he's playing the good guy in DC as Superman. I'd rather see him do something else.
Being a scoundrel.
Yeah, I think I could see him being a scoundrel.
Max has a dog.
I do have a dog.
They share the same food.
I had to put her away because it was thundering out and she was getting nervous. So,
yeah, see,
I'm calling Pete on you.
But no, that's cool, man. Hopefully he finds something in Star Wars that strikes his fancy. But I don't know. Sounds like they don't really have Jedi in Star Wars anymore.
Well, I mean, the Sean Levy project's already underway. They're probably getting casting set already.
That's right. This is a brand new photo.
That's the best the suit has looked. I think cool. This would have been an amazing first image. Besides the one where he's looking down in the battle damage suit, I think that he looks great here. If you're going to use it for a first image, I would have think the lighting maybe a little bit more, but other than that, the pose, things great.
It's a great shot. It really is.
But honestly, though, if you take his quote, keep that up, Bruce. If you take his quote about wanting to be in Star Wars and he said he wants to be a Jedi, I don't want to see him be like another good character, like a good side character. I would like to see him do something different.
Have you watched Hollywood?
They typecast, yeah.
Have you watched it?
Hollywood the movie?
The series with David Cornsweet.
No, I haven't.
He's not a good guy in that. Watch that.
Okay.
He's a gigolo in that. He sells his ass. Well, sells himself to rich women. So it's a really good movie.
What do you think about that, Brian? If he's going to be a super goody two shoes as Superman, do you want to see him be another like a good side a good character, like a good side character, like a light side Jedi, or would you like to see him do something different if he's going to be in Star Wars? I'd like to see something different.
Yeah, no, like I said, I don't really have a place to put him if he does come on over, but I'd just be happy to have him. You can always use a strapping fella such as David Cornsweet.
Yeah.
Well, the next Rey movie is going to be set how many years after The Rise of Skywalker?
I don't know.
Well, regardless, I think it's 10 years or whatever.
Necron says that the reason David Cornsweet is looking for a job in Star Wars, he's not confident in James Gunn's vision of Superman.
How did you get all of that out of?
And he's very concerned. He's not the numbers aren't looking good. Warner Brothers Discovery is going to the shitter. It's being dismantled, and he needs a new job. He's concerned. No, I'm just kidding. I know W. Necron wouldn't say that.
No, but Max would.
Yeah.
No, I'd like to see. The only other thing I've seen David Cornsweet in is Pearl. He was good in that.
Yeah.
I like grumpy old Marine. Me and him are having a vibe. He says, "Shut up." Oh, thank you,
nice.
Grumpy old.
Leave my Grumpy alone over here.
I don't know. I like him.
I also want
here.
What do you think of the anti-deep fake bill that just got signed, making it illegal and criminal to use deep fake to sexualize, makes sexual images of of people. I think that's a great move.
I think
it's disgusting. Some of the AI that's been out there about Taylor Swift and other female actors and performers, it's disgusting at this point.
What's the matter now?
It's with the lack of consent. It's sort of like virtual. I'm
No,
not
don't
say
say
the
that,
word.
Max. Stop, Max.
Yeah. Without someone's, there's a lot of issues. Look at the James Earl Jones things with the Darth Vader and the Fortnite. There's not enough guardrails on AI. I'm not saying I'm against AI, but Fortnite proves it. Did you hear the things they're having James Earl Jones say? James Earl Jones gave his voice
and that's
away.
why they're being sued, because the things that were allowed to go on with the AI Vader violates the terms and agreements.
Yeah, you would think that they'd have safeguards, but there was not. They weren't good safeguards at the very least, because it's a shame that James Earl Jones just passed, and we already have an example of how people's likeness and voice could be misused. And I'm not against Fortnite. I'm just like, you really let this out there without making sure this stuff was locked down?
It's Fortnite.
No, but if you're gonna use someone's voice and likeness, especially when they're no longer with us, you have a responsibility to make sure it's not misused, right?
Yes.
So they did not have a lot of safeguards in there. I don't know why they allowed that. Ask Vader. I don't even know if that's a regular part of Fortnite, that you ask the AI something like that.
I don't know, because Fortnite's a shitty game.
I wouldn't say that.
I always say that.
It's very successful. People like it.
It's a successful shitty game.
But the only reason they get away with as much as they do is because it makes so much money. If a lesser game used Darth Vader, they would shut that whole game down if it wasn't Fortnite.
Oh my god. Mm-hmm. Somebody just sent me a message about my thumbnail in the stream. Snyder Cult versus James Guntz. Oh my god.
Thanks for sending that, W Necron.
No, it wasn't Necron.
I'm just kidding.
Oh my god. Snyder Cult and the James Guntz.
That's pretty funny.
The James Gunn.
This Sunday at the Open Pavilion. Sunday.
What a major gunt.
I don't
we just started a whole new thing.
I'm just reporting what was said. I'm not saying to start using James Guntz.
Quit being such a major gunt.
Oh wow.
Oh my god. Hashtag Guns forever.
Stop it.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. We got it.
That's gonna be used again. I'm sorry, sure.
Guns. Gun guts. Guns.
Jeez.
You're such a major gunt.
Oh my god, dude, with the salami. Oh my god.
Oh my god, Mama been stealing it.
Nice.
Bro. Gunts and gooners.
This is a very mature show today. Thank you for watching. Are we ending soon? I'm getting a little sleepy.
Yeah, I think we can end. Please subscribe, like, leave a comment. If you were offended by tonight's show, get thicker skin and get off the internet.
Watch
stay on the internet and watch Power Hour whenever you can, and watch Kingdom of Nerds.
I will be dropping my DCU logo variant video tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Then I head over to Renovision for the Qualified with Sticks, Dom, Joe, and Jedi. And then Sunday is my comic book show, the other comic book show where we talk comics. Then Monday Madness, and then the part 2 of my new show, Off the Shelf, where it's comics and chill. It's my virtual LCS, hanging out local comic shop, where everybody just comes together, shows off what they got for the week, and talk. We'll just talk anything that comes up.
Awesome.
So with that,
thank you everyone for being here. You really helped me out. I exercised. I had some energy. Now I'm starting to fade. Thank you for the Power Hour.
And with that, Snyder Cult and and the Guns, give it up already. Everyone's tired of it. Move on.
No, I say embrace the madness. I can't wait for
You
these
just want to
debates.
make more
No,
clip outs and
no,
more
I
thumbnails.
am listen.
Fading.
It is what it is. I've come to terms that with James Gunn is going to try it, see if he succeeds. If he fails, I don't think they're going to do anything. Is my point of view. So let all the debates come. They're going to be more entertaining. If you can't change the way people are, right, Brian? You can only change yourself.
Yeah,
you can only change how you
handle what comes at you.
So you're not going to stop people from having these debates. Let it happen.
And you're not going to change each other's minds.
Yeah.
I want to start having this on my stream. No religion, no politics, no Snyder versus Gunn.
What the hell are you talking about? We just made a whole stream about it.
Oh yeah, we did. Never mind.
What are you talking about?
But I do want to show this. I got this from my good friend Mark Spears.
You don't say.
Bruce, you suck.
Wow,
Mark
that was perfect. I agree with that.
Jesus.
It does.
Okay, do you guys know what raclette is? It's like a way to melt cheese and put it on a sandwich. So they take this big old knife and the big old block of cheese and they get it all melted and nice, and they go scrape it onto a piece of bread. Oh my God. That's what I'm watching, guys. Sorry.